In the last video, we started writing some Django tests for this product model that we created. And so far, what we're testing on this model is the model method, the model property, and the clean method for validation. Now, there's another part of models that we can test and that we should test in Django apps, and that's database constraints. If we look at the clean method here, we have some Python-based validation to check if the price is less than 0 or the stock count is less than 0. I'm going to reference the Django documentation on this clean method. So let's go to the documentation just now. Now, there are 4 steps when validating a Django model, and we call these methods, it's the model.clean method that we've defined. And these 4 methods are automatically called when you call a model's full clean method. Now, the purpose of these is to use them with the Django model form, which we don't have at the moment, but we're going to add form-based testing and validation in a future video. When you call the isValid method on a model form, it's going to perform those validation steps for all of the fields on the form. Now, if we scroll down a little bit to the full clean method here, I want to note this paragraph. The full clean method is not automatically called when you call the model save method. You need to call that manually if you want to run one-step model validation for your own manually created models. And that means that if we create a product and we don't call the clean method, there is the potential for self.price to be less than 0, and the same for the stock count. Now, I'm going to show an example of that, and to do that, we're going to use the Django shell. So we can do that with python manage.py, and then we run the shell command. That brings us into the shell environment. And in the shell, what we're going to do is import the product model, and let's then create a product. And notice that the stock count is set to -2 here. So we create the product, and if we call product.clean, it's going to run those validation steps. And you can see we get the validation error that the price cannot be a negative number. So the price here is -55, the stock count is -2. But notice if we just call product.save here, it is going to save this product into the database. So if we then run a query here to get the very first product out of the database and store it in a variable p, if we access the price, you can see it is -55. So that means that even though we have this clean method on the model, this is not automatically run when you call save. This is more for use with model forms. And therefore, if you call save with a price that's negative, it is going to save it to the database. Now, you can rectify this by using a database constraint. So that's what we're going to do now. Now, in Django, you define database constraints in a meta class within the product model. So when you have your model, you define the inner class meta, and there is a field on that called constraints, and that's set to a Python list or a tuple. And the constraint that we're interested in here is called a models.check constraint. And a check constraint basically applies some conditional logic to what you're trying to save for the given model. So we're going to pass a condition into this, and that's going to be a queue object in Django. And the queue object allows you to construct some kind of logic here. So for example, the price, we want to make sure the price is greater than 0. So we're going to use the price field here on the model, and then we specify the greater than modifier. And as well as a condition, we can give the check constraint a name. So I'm going to call this price greater than 0. So that's the first check constraint that we have for the price. We also need one for the stock count because the stock cannot be negative either. So let's add a second item to this list. I'm just going to copy the check constraint that we have, and let's change the field that we're referencing to stock count. And we can also change the name of the given check constraint. So once we save this, what we can do is we can go to the terminal, and I'm going to exit out of the Django shell here and clear the terminal. And because database constraints are applied at the database level, we need to run the make migrations command. That's going to generate the migration based on what we've added there. And then we can run migrate, and it's going to add that check constraint to the database. Now notice here that we can't do this until we get rid of the item that we added. And that's because in the database, we have a price that's already less than 0. So in order to do that, let's go back to the shell, and we're going to import the product model. So let's import that here. And then we're going to fetch the first product from the database. So that's product.objects.first. And that product here has a price of -55. We're actually just going to call delete to get rid of that from the database. Now, once we've deleted that, we can then clear the terminal and run the migrate command, and it's going to apply the operations that we added here with these check constraints. So we now have check constraints in the database. At the database level, it's going to prevent us adding a row that violates these constraints. But it is possible for other developers to start working on the project and potentially to remove the check constraints. And they might do this deliberately, but not understand the implications of it, or they might do it accidentally. And that's why you really should add tests when you add constraints as well. Now, when you try and save an object that violates a check constraint, you're going to get an integrity error. We're going to test for that in test models.py. So at the top here from Django.db, we're going to import the integrity error. And I'm going to go to the bottom of this test class and we're going to define two new methods in this video. And the first method, let's call that test negative price constraint. And I'm just going to add a doc string here. This test is going to ensure that a product with a negative price cannot be saved due to the database constraint. So let's create a product here and I'm just going to paste this in. We have a product and it has that name here, but importantly it has a price of -1. So that's a violation of that check constraint on the price column. So what we're going to do is try and save this, and we're going to open a context manager here, and we're going to call that assert raises method that we saw in the previous video, and we expect this to raise an integrity error when we call product.save. So when we save this, it's going to try and enter the price with that negative value into the database, and that's going to return an integrity error, and that's what we're checking for here in this test. So let's go to the terminal again, and we're going to run python manage.py test. And now we have 5 tests and you can see they are all passing. And we're going to add a very similar test here for the stock count. So I'm just going to copy this and let me bring that to the bottom of this class. Let's call this test negative stock count constraint. And I'm going to change the field name in the doc string here to stock count. And let's set the price of this product to 1. And we're going to set the stock count to -5. Now again, this should raise an integrity error when we call product.save because this time the stock count is negative. And that's going to be a violation of the second check constraint here that ensures that the stock count should be greater than 0. So if we save this and again go back to the terminal at the bottom of VS Code, we're going to run the test command, and this time all 6 of our tests are passing. Now because we have a greater than 0 condition, you might also want to check the condition when the price or the stock count is equal to 0. And that's kind of like the edge case here. You do want to test those just to ensure that nothing accidentally changes later on. And actually for stock count, the database constraint might actually make more sense if it allows the 0 value, because of course a product could have 0 in stock. That is a possibility. In that case, you would just change this to greater than or equal to. But I'm just going to leave it as it is. Now a final note on these check constraints, because we have an integer field here for the stock count, if you want to constrain those to only positive numbers, there is another model field in Django that will allow you to do that, and that's the positive integer field. So if you need to do that, you don't need to write a check constraint necessarily in Django, you can do that using a positive integer field. Now just to finish this video, I want to touch on why you might want a clean method here, as well as a database constraint. So the clean method is to catch these validation issues early in your code before you attempt to save anything to the database. So for example, if you submit a form and it has a validation error, before Django tries to send that data to the database, it's going to return that form and allow the user to fix that error. And that prevents that database round trip. But of course, as well as the validation rules in the Python code, you do want to make sure that your data integrity is secure. And you don't want to allow any data to accidentally be entered into the database that doesn't make sense. And that's why you would also potentially define a database constraint on these fields. So we have a preventative mechanism here on the Django model and in the database itself, as well as in the Python code, and that's going to ensure robust validation and data integrity for your application. Now in the next video, we're going to look at a special method of the Django test case, and that's the setup test data method. It's a small optimization you can add if necessary, and it can improve the performance of your tests. So we're going to dive into that in the next video.